Hey, in this video we're going to talk about ARKit and the new file format Apple has announced in partnership with Pixar. And this file format allows you to do to look at AR objects on your phone, like this one, and these can be embedded on our website, so they're pretty nice and supported on all devices that run iOS 12, or at least all the recent devices. And this is what we're going to make today, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that you have to look for in Blender when working with these files. And so this looks pretty cool, and this is what we're going to do today. So I'm new to Blender, and everything that I'm gonna show you today is I'm going to do this very slow because I'm not really good in Blender. So first of all I opened up just a normal scene in Blender. This is just how it looks, and it starts off with a cube, and I'm just gonna resize the cube a little bit. And we could export this as an object, and let's say we're exporting it to the desktop, call it cube, export, and then we would have this object file, which can actually already be previewed on your computer, but this is not the file that that is supported. The new file is called USDZ, and before you can actually convert it to a USDZ file, you have to have the Xcode installed, the most recent version. Once you have that installed, you can run this command and convert this object file to a USDZ file. So once we do this, this would actually already work. All right, so there's the verbose output which tells you all the stuff that's in there. So there's one mesh in there that's called cube, and some shader and shade materials. So this is the file that we get, and this would actually already work if we'd put it on an iPhone, or if we shared it to the iPhone. So this is pretty straightforward. So we could actually just drop this on a website, or share it on iMessage, or wherever, and it would actually work. So let me just show you this. This is up there. Let's just name this like this. And once we look at that on an iPhone, we see the cube, and we can have this cube here. So this is obviously pretty uninteresting because there's no material file. It looks boring, and that's why we have to put some materials on that cube. So the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna unwrap that cube so that we can actually put a texture on it. So I'm just gonna go I went into edit mode, and I'm selecting all the seams here, marking them as seams, and then unwrapping the cube, which should then result in a UV map like this, which is good. So once we have the the UV map, we can actually set up the material of this cube. So if we are over here, we jump in the node editor, and we'll add a material. And so for these files, we actually need a couple of textures. So first of all, I'm gonna delete this one and add a shader called principled BSDF. This goes here. Let me move a little bit closer, and we're gonna connect this here. So this is the first step. So then we're gonna add a texture, an image texture. So this is the first step. And actually, so we open an image texture. I have already prepared something, and this is the image texture that I prepared. So let's see. Yeah, this is something that I prepared before, but this is actually old. So let me just update this. I prepared something here, and actually what I want to do is output this as a texture. This is cube. Let's call this color, cube color, and save it, and jump back in here and open that and go cube color, open image. So let me see. This didn't work. Why does it not work? Ah, yeah. So there's some more things showing, but the UV map is not set up properly. So let's jump into UV in the mode and select that image, and actually jump into edit mode. So then we see the map. Pressing G, I can actually place that here. We see that it's still a little bit too big, so I'm pressing S followed by Z. I can scale that down a little bit. Let's see, and move it over here. So this looks okay-ish. All right. Okay. Jumping back into the node editor, we actually have a couple of other things that we need to add. The first thing is actually a normal map. So what I'm gonna do is I'm duplicating this image texture, moving it down here, and we're gonna need to create a normal map. If you have Photoshop, this is actually quite nicely done here. So if you have something like this, this would be an example for a normal map, or at least a preparation for it. Okay, so this time we are gonna invert it. Okay, I think this is what I wanted to look like, and I'm gonna export that. Export as PNG and call it cube normal. All right, so jump back into Blender, and first of all, I'm gonna select that normal map that I just created, and if I would just connect it here, that would not really work actually. Because first of all, I need to tell it that it's non-color data here, and also there's a vector that needs to be added, and the vector is called normal map, and it goes in between. So we put in this here and put this here. So what happened here. Cube color, and this is the normal map. If we render that, it still looks like this, but we can add, what is it, the strength. Oh yeah, we connected it wrong, and we add some strength to it, maybe 3, and we see that there's something going on. So this looks good. So there's only one map actually missing, and that's called that's the roughness map. So we're gonna duplicate the image again, and actually in this case we're gonna just select, this is a black canvas, it's just like this here, because black, this just states that everything is as shiny as possible. So the blacker the layer is, the more the harder the surface, and thus actually the reflection is bigger. So we just connect that and connect that to the roughness. So if we go into object mode, we should actually see that this looks already pretty okay. Yeah, this looks fine. This is the setup, and if we now go into, we export that again, or actually we don't need to export it again, because the basic object file doesn't include any materials. So what we do here is actually really not needed, because maybe correct me, it is probably actually needed. It is needed for just for the UV map. That's why we're exporting that again, so that the UV map and the position of it is correct. But other than that, everything, all this setup is actually just defined by the 3 images that are provided. So this is where the interesting part comes, because now we need to run this command. This command, first of all, we can run it without any options again in this verbose mode. So let's do that. So we see this mesh called cube, and there's at the moment there's no DOM material on it. So what we need to tell it is we need to tell him the mesh. So first of all, we put in -g and then cube for the name of the mesh, and then we're gonna connect a couple of materials. So first of all, we connect a maybe say the color map, and the color map location or name is this one, cube color.png. Then we're gonna connect a normal map that we created. That's this one, cube normal, and a roughness map. And this is this one. Okay, so this should actually do it. And we're gonna put that in, and it's stating a couple of more things, and our USDZ file should look different now. Yeah, it looks a lot different, and here it doesn't really, the reflection doesn't really shine all that nicely. But if we actually put that, look at that on a phone, okay, put that up there, and let's see if that worked. yeah, now we have a shiny cube, and we could put it on a desk, and it actually looks really shiny. Yeah. Okay, so this is all fine, but now there's maybe the last trick that I can show you is how to actually go about animation. So if you want to do animation here, then there's the timeline down here, and I'm just gonna add a few frames, nothing spectacular, just to show you what you have to keep in mind. So first of all, I think I need to delete that camera, because it will be in this file format that we're gonna do right now. It won't be deleted. So what we're gonna do is actually delete that lamp as well. I don't know if I need to, but I'm just better be safe. First of all, the first thing that we're gonna need to do is actually we need to add this is really weird, but we need to add an empty node for on plain axis, and we're gonna put that here on the top actually. Let me see. Why does it not work? Oh yeah, it works. And we're gonna put the location in 0, 0, 0. So it's at the total 0 basically, and then we're gonna drop that cube in there. So this is how it should look like. You have an empty node here, and then the cube with all the stuff in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna rotate the cube a little bit. So first of all, you go into just anywhere you are, and you just press I. So this, and I'm just gonna put in a keyframe for location rotation. It's gonna show up down here, and then I'm gonna jump to, let's say, the middle of, or let's say to 60 frames, and I'm gonna rotate the cube a little bit. Let's say like this, and I'm just gonna press I. I'm hovering over this rotation thingy, and I'm pressing I again, so that locks that in. And then I'm gonna maybe, yeah, I'm gonna rotate back to 0, so that, because everything should be looping, I'm gonna rotate back to 0 and hit I again. So now for this frame, I'm actually setting this as an end frame, so we have this animation going on. So it's gonna go like this. I'm just gonna spin around a little bit, and this should be fine. So now that we have this animation, we actually cannot export that as object file anymore, because object files don't include any animation. So we actually need to do, we're going to export it with this Alembic file. And yeah, you can just leave it like this. I think there's nothing that you need to change, but we're just going to rename that to cube, export Alembic. And now we have this animation file, and here's something weird going on, that how we gonna use that that file. So first of all, I'm gonna rewrite the command, so it's actually ABZ. All the stuff should stay the same, but we're gonna add a few commands here. So it's not only verbose, but also -L and -A, because there's an in-between file called USDA, and we're going to need that in a minute. So just we're just gonna run that and see and look at the output first of all. So let's see what happens. So we have the cube material, and let's look actually at the cube ASDZ file, how it looks like. And it seems that there's no animation, but actually you can see that there's a very, very tiny animation going on, but it's just too slow. And this is where this USDA file comes in. So you just have to make it more easy, but rename that to USDA and then open this with a term like a normal text editor. And here this time code is actually wrong, so you need to divide that by your frames per second. So that's 100 but divided by 24, so that's 110 here. And actually time code per second also needs to be changed by here. So this, just save that file. And now what we're gonna do is we are gonna use the same converter, but we're actually just gonna take the in-between file, cube.usda to cube.usdz. That's it. So just this in-between file, we edited that, and we're gonna run that again. So it's gonna overwrite the USDZ file, and now the animation is going pretty good. And we can test that on our device. See, replace that. Okay. Let's see if that worked. Yeah. There is some really crazy shading going on, but basically it worked. The metalness is pretty crazy here, but other than that, basically it worked. Preferred the look of the other one, but what do you gotta do? All right, so that's it for now. This is all I learned about Blender and USDZ files and stuff like that. Hope it helps somebody, and yeah, have a great day. Bye bye.